Great. Karina, thank you for being here. I really appreciate that you can come to my podcast.
My pleasure.
Um, I think the tips and tricks just now it was wonderful, and I look forward to be implementing that in the future. So I'll call that the Karina trick.
Yeah, okay. The Karina podcast trick.
Yeah, yeah,
Tips and
yeah,
trick.
yeah. Hey God, I have been doing my podcast for maybe about a year, and trying to improve the format every time. And now I want to like talk about the guest's um, profile, so that the listeners can get to know you
Mm-hmm.
better. So
Sure.
I you you are an accomplished co-founder of KALM and psychologist, and you have worked in many different companies and studied abroad and worked in right now starting a startup which is more tech focused, right? Have
Mm-hmm.
you like ever expected to be in this place where you are right now?
Thanks for the praise, Nikki. Accomplished, sure. For I mean, I never say I'm not accomplished or anything, but there's always room for improvement, right? That's what I always say. But yeah, I'm in a good place, career wise, I guess. But if you ask me, have I ever imagined to be where I am today and in my career life? No. I've never in my life imagined I'd start my own business because I have zero business bone in my body. Um, I like how some people have this like, oh, let's sell this, let's turn this into money. I have nothing like that. I want to make money, sure, but never anything like that. So that I am a psychologist, absolutely. This is exactly where I want to be in my life, I guess. In that case, yeah, because I've wanted to be a psychologist since I was 7, about that age,
Wow.
which is crazy. Yeah. And I say that even when I explain that to people, that's crazy. How does a 7-year old know what they want to be for the rest of their life? And I
Yeah.
call myself the anomaly because if you at whoever's listening, if you're 15 and you don't know what you want to do, you're normal. If you're 20 and you're 25 and you don't know what you want to do, you're normal. Don't follow in on my footsteps in that sense. Oh, I need to know what I want, like Karina since she was 7. No, no, no. I'm the weird one. And yeah, I don't know how that came about. I mean, I can tell the story, but I don't know why I'm this anomaly who's known since I was 7. But yes, so I am like, if people ask me what do you do, so not so much who are you, because if people ask me who are you, I have a different answer to it. But if people ask me what do you do, I am a clinical psychologist and the co-founder of KALM, KALM with a K. And
Come with
those
a
are two
K.
things. Yeah. Those are two things. I am a clinical psychologist, so and I'm licensed only in Indonesia, to be clear. And yeah, because I get my licensing from Indonesia. And the co-founder of KALM, that's a separate. It's one and both, right? But I always know who I am wherever I'm. Like depending on which platform I'm at, or what I'm doing, and easily. For me, I can do that now with Instagram. In that, if I'm on
Sure.
KALM, our Instagram is at get.calm, so get.kalm. So when I'm on there and going on IG live, say, I'm representing KALM. But when I'm on my own Instagram, I'm me. I mean, I'm also me there, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's freer for me when I'm on my platform. I can say whatever I want. I even recently posted something along the lines of, "This is where I do whatever I want and say whatever I want." And if you, I mean, like the subtitle to that is, if you don't like that, you can leave, right? Like
Hmm.
you can unfollow me on my personal account, but KALM is where the science and the proper wording is at. So yeah, no business. What? No. But I'm glad to be here. And I would always say, if it weren't for someone else inviting me to start KALM together, I wouldn't have started this. I'd just be, not just, I'll still be happy and fulfilled being a clinical psychologist, perhaps having my own personal practice. That's still my goal, kind of. But now with COVID, it's like I'm not letting anyone in to my physical life in that sense, especially if it's clients who, with kids. So my formal background is clinical child psychology. So I meet kids and up to young adults, not just kids. I have to play with them. I miss them. So I say I miss my young clients because though I keep doing counseling online through the app KALM and video like Zoom, but I can't play with my young clients. I do try to play online. Like I would put, here I'll show you. I have this. I have this to place my phone.
A tripod.
I use this for. Sorry.
IG Live. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for IG Live, for anything. Like, it started I use it for IG Live, but then now I use it for anything. I use it to reply my emails. I use it to watch. I use it for anything. So, I've used that stand to put like a toy so that I can play with my young client online. They would use their own toy at their end, and I'd be here using whatever toy I have. But then I was like, how do I don't want to keep holding a toy like this. It's so tiring. So my brain found what's right in front of my eyes, which is a phone stand. So I'll show you. I guess this is not so much a toy. This is a screen cleaner. So I just, this can go up and down. And then, oh, whoops.
Hey,
Anyway.
Technology comes in many forms, and
Exactly.
it somehow changes our lives in one way or another. But
Yeah.
take me back to that 7-year-old Karina. Who would
Yeah.
know psychology in general at that time?
Right. I didn't, but I am blessed and lucky enough to have a mom my mom's not a psychologist, but my mom has several close friends who are psychologists. And I guess in my head, I've never actually asked her this, but in my head, she then, understood the importance of child psychology, the importance of mental health and whatnot, directly or indirectly from her friends, right? So when I was 7 and my brothers were only like 1 year apart each, so I have 2 older brothers, biological, because I have a cousin who I count as my brother as well. But when I was 7, she took us to, it was a hospital. She took us to the hospital to meet this psychologist. And the main thing she said was IQ test, because why not, right? Asian tiger mom. I mean, she's not that tiger of a mom, but like, yeah, check your IQ test. So we did that, but for kids, when a kid does an IQ test, you don't just test them. You talk to them, you ask them things, you have a chat. Especially if you're strangers to begin with. Because that's a rule in now I know that in psychology, when I'm going to do a test to a child, I have to get to know the child first. They have to be comfortable with me first. Then I can do a test to them. Anywho, that was like about a few hours in that day. When I left that room at that hospital, I was like, what is that? What job is that? Because even at 7 years old, at school, so I was in the 2nd grade, somehow my friends like to tell me things. Somehow my friends like to, we had crushes even then at 7. Sure. And they would, oh, I like this guy. What should I do? Blah, blah. At 7. weirdo. I mean, I'm like, that's weird, but
Golden
whatever.
times.
That
Okay.
that was that. So I was like, huh, this lady, she is asking me things and listening to my stories, and she's getting paid. I've been doing that for free, yo. Like, I've been doing that for free at school. So I'm like, I want this job. So this wasn't so much like an epiphany or anything. And this is honest story. I'm like, I want this job because I've been doing it for free and I love it. So if this lady is listening to me, my stories, and she's getting paid, that's the job I want. So at that point, before I knew what a psychologist even was, my what I wanted to be when I grew up was an author. At that point, so
Wow.
I was like, oh, I'm such a like, I used to be such a black and white person. So I was like, if my goal is to be an author, there's nothing else I can be. I used to be like that. So I was like, oh, now I want to do this too. What should I do? Should I switch? What do I do? And then I was like, yeah, I just mulled it over. I don't know how long or short, but I was like, when you're a psychologist, you can also write books later, right? So you know what? I don't need to change that dream, the author dream. I just I add on psychologist to my dream. And ever since that day, whenever, aunties, uncles, mom, dad ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? It was no longer author, it was psychologist. And I don't know the details, okay, of what a psychologist is until, say, grade 9. Yeah, until grade 9, I didn't know what in detail what a psychologist does other than listening to people and getting paid. That's it.
So, did you ask your parents how to study psychology or other, you know,
I don't think
mo-
so.
other
I mean,
people?
yeah. I mean, I don't think so. Maybe, I mean, were there internet back then? Yes. But I guess I asked my mom if I could, like, so, okay, so in grade 9, we had to do this project at school, at high school. No, it was, yeah, high school, I guess, but the end of middle school. We had career week, and then we were our personal project, I guess, for career week was to produce a poster where you tell us, I mean, you tell the teacher what you want to be and how to be it, what steps you need to take to get there, like, what schooling, how many years of schooling, and then salary projections. And then the main thing was a reflection piece on why do you think you should be that, you should be that person or that job. Why and I went to a Christian school, so they also made me and made us write a reflection piece on calling. So that was the first time I was introduced to the term life calling or calling, whatever you want to call it. No pun intended. And then yeah, they well, of course, they had a sort of like class or lecture type of thing on like what is calling, and the opposite of calling is vocation, they say, which is like basically a job without any calling in it. So all right, so I got that. But then I didn't know if psychology or to psychologist is the job that's like I'm called for. So what I did to answer that reflective piece was I prayed. I asked school said God will call you. So I'm like, all right, let me ask him then if this is my calling, because I don't know if it is. I just know I want to be this. So I prayed. I asked, hey God, something like that. So, and I'm pretty casual in my prayer. I don't have to close my eyes and do anything like that. I asked God, hey God, is this my calling? If yes, send me a sign. Let me know something. If not, let me know what my calling is. So there was no voice from heavens, no lights from heavens, believe me, but he did answer it in his own way through people, through my heart. So I was reassured that this is my calling, and I aced that project because I could answer
Wow.
my why. Yeah, I could answer my why because, like, the why is not so much God has called me. It might be, right? But at that point, I was what, 14, 15, something like that. I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know this is what God is calling me to do. I had no idea. But I could explain the why pretty eloquently, somehow. So, yeah. That's how I Googled if Google was a thing. I also, we had to interview someone with that job.
Mm.
And like, lucky for me, like I said, my mom has lots of friends who are psychologists. So I just asked mom, who can I interview? Like, which one of your
Mm.
friends can I interview for my project? So she just linked me to one of her friends. And then the ridiculous thing is, when I Googled, there was zero info on psychology in Indonesia. Zero. I
Really?
didn't know. Yeah, like, I didn't know how much I would make as a psychologist in Indonesia, sorry, as an Indonesian. But I found a bunch of American stats, right? Like, I would make lots and money, apparently, according to Google. But that's an American rate. So yeah, that's the funny thing now when I look at that poster, I'm like, I laugh. 1,000 something something, or like $100 per session, please. Not here, unfortunately. Does not mean I can't make a living out of it, but it's not $100 per hour in Indonesia.
And did you like your studies of psychology in university? In your
Yeah.
bachelor's degree first?
Yes. So I loved it. And that's why, that to me, the fact that I loved it, and then I continue to love it, is to me an answer from God, or a sign, or whatever you want to call it, that this is
Mm.
it. This is the calling. Because I'm open to, hey, God, if this is, like I said, if this isn't my calling, and you want to switch it to something else, please change my heart's desires. That's what I ask him.
Mm.
Because I still want this. If this isn't the calling, change it. I was pretty lazy. I'm like, just change it. I don't want to, I don't know what else I want. Because right now this is what I want. But if this isn't my calling, just change my heart. That's pretty easy, right, for you to do. So, at the beginning of bachelor's, you know how, I don't know, I mean, I don't know what it was for you and other people, but day one of uni, right? I went to the University of Indonesia. Day one of uni, of course, one of the lecturers asked, why did you apply for this program, right? So there were 25, 24 of us in the class, because I was in the international program, so it was a pretty small class. And we went around, and I think there were about 10 people out of the 24, 25, who said, I want to be a psychologist, including me, right? I I don't remember the exact people, but I do remember a few names who said they wanted to be a psychologist. And I checked that. I did a pre-post test, I guess, at the end of 4 years of uni. We didn't go around like that anymore. I just went to each of those people who I remember said they wanted to be psychologists. And I asked, do you still want to be a psychologist? And out of the round, 7 to 10 people who said they wanted to be a psychologist at the beginning, at day one of uni, at the end of uni, maybe 4 people said, yeah, still want to be a psychologist, including me, 4 including me. And then the rest who said it at the beginning, no, not for me. So, and that's fine, right? I didn't say, oh, that's so bad, what a waste of 4 years. No, because when you take when you take psychology as your undergrad, you can be, yeah, this is too much, but you can be anything. You don't have to be a psychologist. There's always your master's to master in, right? If you want to switch lanes. So yeah, I'm like, okay, I guess that's a sign. That's another sign that I still want to be a psychologist after 4 years of studies, and some people didn't anymore. I checked again. Do I enjoy this? Do I love this? There are little things in the 4 years that I didn't love so much. to be fair. Like I can't say I loved every subject I took. No.
Sure.
I did not love statistics. I still don't. I'm very bad at math. Numbers isn't my thing. So don't like statistics. Don't love like industrial and organizational psychology. Like that's supposedly where the money is at for us psychologists. It's where the money is at just because it's like faster money, I guess. Because you work in a company, right? And you get what, monthly pay or something. Whereas what I want to do is, as a clinical psychologist, is session per session. And if I have my own clinic, who do I get money from other than my clients, right? So I did the class. I still got an A. Don't love it. And I can compare it to a friend who, same thing, took the same class. And she, to my memory, she does not want to be a psychologist, yeah? But we both took the class, and then after one of those classes, she would go on Twitter and say, I love that class. Whereas it did not, I don't love it. I'm like, okay, it's fine. It's cool.
Oh, but she did like it.
Thanks for the intro. She loved it, and I didn't. So if you ask, did I love my studies? The general study and like overall, yeah, but there are specific subjects that I did not love at all. And that's okay. I did not take that as a sign, oh my God, is this not what I should be anymore? Like, should I not be a psychologist because I don't love statistics or because I don't love industrial and organizational psychology? I didn't see it that way because I loved family psychology. I loved psychopathology classes. So that, I'll take those as a sign that, I still want to be in this business.
Yeah. It's funny you said statistics. It's my favorite subject. It was,
Yeah.
But yeah, to allude to what you're saying too, we don't like every subject 100%.
No.
There's definitely
No.
a choice and a pull towards something and
Yeah.
some sort of hesitation on others. It's just natural.
Yeah.
And you went to do your master's in psychology.
Yeah.
And you also studied abroad in Australia. I was wondering whether you want to talk about your Australia experience.
I can a bit in that when I and this will somehow connect. So I had to do like an interview to get into my master's program. As you should. I mean, if you're gonna allow a person to help other souls and other people, I would say you make that vetting very strict, I would say. So on that interview, the interviewer, which is who will later be my lecturer, I guess, my professor or whatever you want to call it, asked, you went to Australia, you went to UQ, she asked, what was that like? Or, what did you learn from there? Of course I learned a lot, right? Of course I learned, like I said, like psychopathology, family psychology, I learned all of that. But when she asked me that, and it was a good question because I don't think at that point no one has ever asked me that before. So I took a few seconds to think, what did I study or what did I get from my 2 years in Australia? So that international program meant I was at UE for 2 years and I was at UQ for 2 years. And my answer was, the one theme about my 2 years in Australia was independence. Not so much the studies. Like I said, of course, I studied. But it's the independence. It's like a mini trial of what adulthood would be like, right? Though I was still 100% financially dependent on my parents. But I had to pay the bills myself. I had to shop for groceries with my roommates. I had to change the sheets myself. And I have to explain though, if anyone here is listening who are not Indonesians, Like, what? You never change your sheets in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, in Indonesia,
Never do
in
groceries.
Indonesia,
Yeah, for some people,
Yeah.
not doing groceries yourself is considered normal, actually.
normal,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and when I say, yeah, I have helpers at home, or maids, if you want to call them, I'm not poor, but having a maid at home in Indonesia, let's do this disclaimer, isn't a super rich person thing. It's a middle class thing, right? So yeah, no, I had to change my own sheets, do my own shopping. Never had to do that before. Pay my bills. What else did I have to do on my own? A lot of home
Getting to school.
things.
Getting to school.
Getting to school. I mean, I guess before that. Oh yeah. I mean, I lived very far from my uni, the UI uni, so I had to be driven to my school, to uni, because it was so far. And then people would ask, why not live at the dorm? Oh, I wanted to, kind of, but my mom wouldn't let me. So, okay. So I was like, I couldn't drive yet at, how old I was? Was I in 17, 16, something like that? 17. At 17, I couldn't drive yet. So to go to uni, I had to be driven. Because my mom...
You went to university while you were 17, when you were 17?
Didn't we graduate at that age? Yeah.
Should be 18,
Kinda.
right? I mean,
My
Did you
birthday is
graduate
in
early?
November. No, that could be it. My birthday is in November. So when I graduated in June, I was still 17, right? So and when I started uni in August, I was still 17, kind of. So
I mean,
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if you went to college early, given your track record, Karina.
No. I had the normal life track in that sense. It's 4 years of, high school, straight to uni, no gap years or anything, because that's not a thing in Indonesia, doing gap years, right?
It isn't.
If you do, that's fine and wonderful, but not a thing in my family, I guess. So uni 4 years, 1 year of work before my master's. My job was as a school counselor. That was fun in so many learned a lot there too.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about that sometime.
Yeah. And then because I learned a lot about what I would be as a psychologist, even in that 1 year of work. And then I did 2.5 years of master's program, and then 3 months off because I needed that break, and then it's to the working world, right? Where was I? So yeah, masters. No, school. Brisbane. Yeah, lots of things there. Personal life, stories there. Of course, I had tons. Friendships tested there. Oh, we had fights because I went with that group, right? That 20-something people. Although not all together at once, but basically we're with the same cohort. And I had a group of friends. I still do. We're still together. It's the 7 of us. And yeah, when you're a group of 7, you can be all bestie with all 7. Trust me. Does not mean you hate each other, no. But you're probably gonna be closer to 1 or 2, right? So anywho, 7 of us, we went. We lived together in two different apartments, just because one apartment had 2 rooms only. So I was the only one who did not have a roommate, and I made it that way. So when we were talking about our plans to go to Brisbane with my 6 other girlfriends, I was like, hey guys, I'm not gonna have a roommate if that's possible, because I need my space. I do wanna be flatmates with you guys because that's gonna be fun. Sounds like, right? But I'm gonna have my own room. Yes, of course I will pay more rent, right? Just being fair. But yeah, I made sure that was the case, and I think that was one of the best decisions I've made for my friendship, because you can turn from best friends to enemies in 1 second if you are not aware of your friends' feelings and habits, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, even flatmates, not, I didn't have a roommate. Even then, we had conflicts, right? Normal stuff.
Yeah.
But I was
Yeah.
like, at the end of 2 years there, thank God, I made sure, or like I was very, I forced it. I'm not gonna have a roommate. I'm gonna be in my own room. And for those 2 years, I always had a flatmate, of course, but never a roommate. Great choice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Um, I think friendships is one of those things that catapults you to the next level. If you
Yeah.
only just give a little bit, it's very reciprocal.
Yeah,
I think like
it should be. Friendship should be reciprocal. If not, that is, I wouldn't call it friendship. I would call it transactional, and that's business. Whereas friendship is not transactional. You do things because you want to. This is the same with perhaps romantic relationships, I would say, and family type of relationship. It shouldn't be transactional, because that's for business. Just, I do this to get that. I do this for you, so you give me that. But when it's actual love and, yeah, real friendship, it's not, I've done this for you, why don't you do that for me? It shouldn't be like that. It should be, I do this for you because I want to. Period. That's it. Yeah, period. I do this for you because I want to, period.
yeah.
But when it's a teamwork of, flatmates, roommates, whatever, there needs to be clear boundaries where, okay, we do this together, or we do this alternately, cleaning or whatever, throwing out the trash. We shouldn't be, as most insecure young people are, we shouldn't do it like in codes, where like we can either do a post on social media and say, I had to throw the trash for the millionth time today, something like that, because people do that. Trust me, people still do, even at, like, I'm 28 now, even at 28 or 30 years old, people still do codes like that. And that's not okay. I get it. I get why you want to do that. That's because you have an insecure relationship with whoever it is you want to send a message to, right? In a secure relationship, whether it's friendship, romantic relationship, or family relationship, if you want to say something, you go ahead and say it. You want to say you love them, you go ahead and say you love them. You want to say I don't like that, you go ahead and say I don't like that, because you are safe enough to say your opinion or to say what's on your mind. But yeah, at 19 or so, when I think I was 20. Yeah, I was 20. No, 19, my first birthday there was 20. We were teenagers. We did codes for sure. We're like, maybe not on social media, but we would text passive aggressively to each other. And thank God I've grown. And thank God I can say, even with these 6 other girls, right? 7 with me, we do have a more secure friendship. In that now, we can say, why did you do that? Without being scared of like, oh no, she's gonna hate me, or I'm gonna lose this friend. I'm not gonna lose any of my 6 girls. I know that for sure. Even though, say, I do something really bad, or they do something really bad, and I critique them, or they critique me, they're not losing me, and I'm not losing them, and that's a good thing. Because if our friendship did not go through those testing waters in those 2 years of meeting each other every day, being, I'm gonna use the word bitchy, being bitchy girls to each other every now and then, if we did not survive that, we wouldn't be the friends we are today. And I thank God for those fights now, because without those fights, yeah, we would not be where we are today, where we are generally secure. But like I said, with 7 people, there's always, someone closer than, and that's okay.
Yeah, I can echo to a lot of things that you say, and it just, like, relinquishes my fear that people don't have the access to the knowledge that they need to build good relationships,
Mm.
because
Mm-hmm.
they have you, and they have
Mm.
other, they have us, they have me, they have
Mm.
resources to
Yeah.
build great things and so forth. So I
Mm.
want to
Yeah.
segue into your topic, mm,
Mm.
mental health awareness.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
lacking, Karina, in our society, in specifically in Indonesia?
Yeah. Um, I think, let me think, because for a while I would answer straight away with, lack of awareness. But now it's getting better, right? I mean, it's getting better in the sense that the resource, like you said, resources are everywhere. So if we say, I don't know where to look anymore, I'm like, you're just not looking hard enough. So that's not so much, it's still an issue, but not so much anymore. Now I would say it's about the humility on accepting or reaching out for help. That's the issue, I would say. Not so much the lack of information anymore, not really. Of course, it's always good to add more info, add more resources, but the humility to admit that you are human, even. Like, why are people so afraid to admit not weakness? Why use the word weakness? Just admit you are human. You are not a superman or superwoman. I
Yeah.
don't love it used to sound really cool, right, to be a superwoman for me. And now I'm like, I don't aspire to be a superwoman. I aspire to be just a good enough person, which means I will still make mistakes, which means I will still need help. Like, I'm back in this is my room since I was 11. I'm back in this room, right? Because I was away, right, for 2 years in Brisbane when I went to uni. But I'm back in this room, and now I'm back to needing help from my helpers or from my maid. I call her my MVP. I have one main person who helps me, who helps everyone in this house, and I need her for sure. I wouldn't be this productive, or I wouldn't be this chill, or whatever you want to call it, without her help. And that does not make me weak. That just makes me human. Why are people so afraid to admit their humanity? So to me now, my goal is to fill in, because you're asking what's lacking. That humility is lacking to me, and that is, of course, still attached to we call it taboo, stigma around mental health. Sure, we can call it that. It's attached to that. But then my goal then, I don't know. Again, I have goals that are like specifically professional. I have goals that are specifically personal. But lately, there are just tons of new goals that I don't know how to categorize. Like, I don't know if this is personal or professional, but let's just say I'm passionate about helping people understand, or helping people to get to that secure place emotionally, to admit their humanity. Because I am there in that secure place, and believe me, guys, it's really nice. It's really nice to be able to cry with the people you can trust. You don't have to cry in front of everyone. That's fine. Don't, because some people cannot be trusted with your feelings. Some people don't deserve your story. Some people don't deserve your experience. That's okay. But there are people who do. And there are people who can hold your space, I say, because that's what I do as a psychologist. I hold the space for my clients to tell me whatever they want to tell me. But aside from me doing that professionally to other people, I need that type of person in my life, right? I need people who can hold my space. Like I said, to cry, to bitch, to say whatever I want to say. I'm human who's pretty judgmental, and I know that even from at 7, maybe not at 7, maybe at 10, I realize I really like to edit. I like to edit people's work. I like to edit what they say. Even if I don't say it straight away, I have the edits in my head. So I, I'm always thinking, if I'm not a psychologist, what would I be, right?
What
And
would you
I'm like,
be?
lately I'm like an editor, but then that is
Editor.
such an opposite. Yeah, an editor. I love using my red pen to edit, to do all that.
Hey, that's
And
great.
but that's such an opposite from what a psychologist is. I don't edit as a psychologist. I let you make mistakes. So I'm like, what is this? This is such an opposite thing of me, that I love both sides of me in that sense. And that I am able to provide this non-judgmental space, right? But I also love to judge in that sense, and tell you what's wrong, to tell people that's not okay, that's wrong. That's a very black, like I said, I used to be a black and white person, right? I still am in a few things, but now I've learned how to express, or not express, communicate my mindset, I guess, in a less black and white way. Because now, Nikki, nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing. I've
Wow.
heard so many stories from so many people. Nothing surprises me anymore. It'll surprise me if it happens, I guess, in my own family, perhaps. And then I'll be like, oh no, I'd be sad about it, or I'd be a bit shocked. But I will always, now that I've learned so much, I will always know why they are that way. Maybe not the specifics, but I will always, if even if the first instinct is to judge, like, they're like that, uh, the 2 seconds later, I will always go, right, why is this person like this? There must be a reason why this person is like this, and then I would understand, and then I wouldn't be surprised. That's the general flow of my brain. Even if the main thought is judgment, 2 seconds later it's always understanding. But I'm learning, this is my own personal growth, I'm learning to switch it around. I'm learning to make my first instinct to not be judgment, but be understanding. But it's hard. Like I said, I'm human. It's hard, but I'm practicing to get there, because we shouldn't be judgmental at the get-go. We should be understanding. Then we can explore, we can investigate, and then we can make a conclusion. Not so much judgment. We can make a conclusion. I get it now. This happened because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So, yeah. I can't remember what you asked me, but I've been rambling. But yeah,
No, I
I'm
love
gonna.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole psychology, right? I mean, though I'm not expert by any stretch, but I'm fascinated by the human
Mm, mm,
thinking and how it
yeah.
relates to relationships and so forth. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, the multifaceted personas that we have in ourselves that
Yeah.
could be, no, it is actually, it's not even a question, it's to our advantage. That's why we
It
can
is.
understand abstract things. That's why we can
Yeah.
accept ourselves and others, because
Yeah.
it's
It should be to our advantage, which is where then, if anything in us, whether it's our feelings, feelings, all of them should be to our advantage, by the way. But yeah, our feelings, our habits, our personality aspects, or whatever you want to call them, if any of those in us personally, is not doing us good, it's doing us a disservice for whatever reason, then that's where fixing needs to happen, right? So for people because people ask, should I change my personality, or I don't want to be this type of person, or I want to be like that person, and all those things. I'm like, what's wrong with the you now? What's wrong with the you now? If there is something wrong, but it's not I'm pretty sure it's not like a whole person wrong thing. Be specific. Is it a bad habit? You know,
yeah.
or is it like me? Is it an automatic judgmental thought, or what? Be specific. Don't call yourself a bad person in general. Don't go changing your personality. Just change your bad habits. but people are so, I guess I'm not the only one who's black and white, and that people are so black and white, and that they, one bad thing they do, they label themselves a bad person. Oh,
Yeah.
no, don't do that, because you were not created bad, you were created good. Whoever you believe created you, ask that creator. My creator says I'm a good person, so I'm not perfect, right? I'm not perfect by any means, but I'm a good person, that he created, so I'm gonna believe that. And if there are any bad behaviors, there are any bad habits, that I, as this imperfect person, do in my life, then I will take care of that. I'll deal with that, so that it's no longer bad. But I'll never be perfect. Never the goal. That's some people's goal, though, Nikki. Some people think the goal is to be perfect.
Oh,
and
it's mine
yet-
sometimes. I
Oh,
will not
oh,
lie.
yeah. Me too. Me too. I'm like, if we call, what's the term, perfectionist, right? Ask my team, ask my calm team, especially my content team. Oh, like I told you, I'm an editor. I edit the commas, I edit the spelling, I edit the typo. If I have the time to focus, I'll be on it, and I will make them change it if it's wrong. So then I know they call me a perfectionist. But I can separate that, like I said, this is back to the beginning, where I know where I'm doing things for calm, and I know where I'm doing things for myself. I am at a secure place personally, emotionally, right? But calm as a business, we are young, we are a toddler, we're less than 3 years old, so of course we are not secure, right? And when you are not secure yet, you need to do a lot of editing. You need to be vigilant of mistakes. We're not. I don't say we are not allowed to make mistakes. We are, but we have to learn from them to not repeat the mistakes. So when I'm editing Calm's work, whether it's content or anything like that, oh yeah, ask my team. I'm a perfectionist. Like, I'm sure they've been pissed at me every now and again for like, why does that little thing matter? It matters because I always put myself in my audience's shoes, right? It irks me when I see a typo in other people's posts. So I'm gonna make sure no one feels that irk, to my best lah, to my best of my ability, to the best of my ability. I'm gonna make sure no one feels that irk of like, ugh, a typo, when they read Calm's posts. So when I see a typo before it goes up, live, right, I'm gonna make sure we change it, because we still can. But if it's already up, and there are many mistakes, typos here and there that has been posted on Instagram on Calm, if it's up and it's running, people have started to like it and comment on it, oh well, right? I'm not gonna be a dictator who goes, take that down and redo it. No, if it's already up and people, like, it's a minor mistake, I'm not gonna be bitchy about it. But if it's before it goes up and there is time to edit, oh yeah, I'm gonna make sure my team edits. So that's the difference here. That's why I'm always reflecting on myself. Why am I so chill personally? But I know to a lot of people I am not chill. Because it depends on what I'm working on. Like I said, if it's calm, I'm a perfectionist one way or another, right? But when it's about myself now no longer a perfectionist. I used to be. And the other interesting thing that I notice about me that I would love to share to people. I mean, to me, don't be like me. People always say, "Oh, how do I be like you?" or like, "How do I get there?" Don't aim me as a target. I'm an imperfect human being. Just adopt my mindset, perhaps, if it helps.
Sure. Then.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I used to perhaps here and there do things to impress other people. Yeah. And
Who
being a
doesn't?
perfectionist. Yeah, right. So being a perfectionist is a part of that. I want people to see me a certain way. I want people to praise me or whatever. And for a lot of people, that first person you want to impress are your parents.
Yeah.
I have the unfair advantage, I guess, of having parents, especially my mom, because my dad, not so much. My dad sometimes, he's still very, we should be excellent, stuff like that. But my mom is very forgiving in that, no, you don't have to be perfect. And I grew up with that, and that is an unfair advantage for me, I would say, because then that, although at some points in my life I was a perfectionist to this person, yeah, not just on my work, but my mom allowing me to feel, to fail, to cry, that is a huge part of this person, like this Karina who's secure now. Now I don't have to impress anyone. Now I don't even have this thought of, oh, I want to make my parents proud. Of course we do, right? I mean, of course we want to make them proud. But if you only do things for that, I'm out of words, because like if you only do things to make your parents proud, when's your turn? When's your turn to make you proud? When's your turn to make you happy? So now making my parents proud is a positive side effect for me. It's no longer my main goal in life, because that got me nowhere. Like wanting to make my parents proud, and only that got me nowhere. And I know that has gotten lots of my friends and clients nowhere. It has led them to hating themselves and thinking they're not good enough, thinking they're a bad person and all that. It has led them there. So like, let's change that then. Like why stay, if that has done you no good? Why keep that mindset, or why keep that goal? Why not switch the goal of make you happy, not in a selfish way, but make you happy. Do what makes you feel alive. Do what makes you feel passionate and all that. Not do what your parents want you to do. And ever since I switched that around, I don't know. I don't think there was like a specific turning point in my life about that. But ever since my mindset switched, I've been productive. I've excelled, or I've achieved, whatever you want to call it. But that's all for me, not for my parents. Like I said, the fact that they're proud of my achievements, that's nice. But I did not do this for you, mom and dad. Sorry, not sorry. I did not do this for you, mom and dad. But I'm glad you're happy about it.
Yeah, yeah. I think parents play a huge role in our life.
Huge.
Consciously, subconsciously, it played a part of my life and my whole identity process. And
Of course.
it's such enmeshed in me that I have to like untangle some of the bad ones and
Cool.
recover the
Yeah.
the good ones there.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to talk about Get Calm. How did
Yeah.
you transition into business?
The quick answer is Angela, ours. There are three co-founders, but we always say KALM started in Angela's heart, because she was the one who invited us in. She was the one who asked for this collab, I would say. So how did I get started in this business, or even just generally in the business world? Because Angela, our co-founder and CEO currently, asked us to meet, I guess. Yeah, asked is Lucas and me, asked us to meet, and she shared her ideas, and then I was like, sounds like a good idea. Let's see where this goes. Let's try.
Wow.
Basically that, because like I said, never in my life I think, oh, I want to make a business more or less in mental health. I don't even want to make a business in selling stuff. Not even, not that I don't want to. I don't have the tendencies for it. So yeah, someone asked me, good idea, let's try. And here we are, almost. So we signed the deed to our company on December 7, 2017. But we first sat down together for the first time in July of that same year. The app launched in October 2018. So it took us a while. Like the development of the app took a while. But yeah, now we're almost 3 years in the official business, and we're still bleeding. We're still struggling in the financial side of things. We're still trying to find our, like, how do we gel together? Even not just the three of us. Of course, the three of us, we need to gel. But now we have members, right? Now we have employees. We have other KALM team members, we call them. How do we gel with them? That's always a day-to-day learning process. How do we get subscribers? Because the app, we are the first online counseling app that provides subscription-based online counseling in Indonesia. Because until now, to the best of my knowledge, the other online counseling platforms only sell or offer per session type of counseling, whereas KALM, it's a subscription based, 3 days, 1 week, or 1 month. So yeah, there's still that, how do we get more subscribers? How do we get more customers? How do we get more people to notice us? See, like if you those questions are insecure questions, right? How do we get people to notice us? And that's completely fine, because that's a business. The business is insecure in that sense, because we are a toddler, 3 years old, about to be. But those questions I no longer ask about myself. How do I get people to notice me? I don't ask that anymore. You just notice me if you want to notice me. I don't try to make you notice me anymore, people. Yeah, but I do try to make you notice KALM, because that's where my money's at. That's where my business is at, and my heart is there too. So I do want people to go to KALM and to get help from KALM and to learn from our Instagram posts and all that. That is still a day-to-day question, struggle we have to answer as a team every day.
Yeah. And, for those who's listening, I can tell you that I'm a proud user of KALM. I've been very helped by the counselor. I bought 2 packages, and it was super great. It was very responsive.
Love to hear that.
And I just learned new concepts about psychology and about love.
About yourself, perhaps.
About love, about life.
Life.
Yeah, surely about the self.
Thank you for the feedback. And I always say, like, of course we want more and more users, right? But honestly, Nikki, what keeps us going, me and my partners, me, Angela, and Lucas, what keeps us going is testimonials like yours, basically. Our very first public testimonial was from this, I don't even remember this person's name or username, but this person shared on Instagram that they were suicidal, or they had suicidal thoughts, and then they tried KALM, or they bought a package or something, and then their counselor is KALM's counselors.
For those who don't know, it's KALM counselor. Counselor.
Yeah, that was my pun. And because I love words, I love puns. Anyway, that person shared publicly that they had suicidal thoughts, and then they somehow tried KALM, was connected to a counselor, and then their counselor encouraged them not just encouraging like you can do it. No, there were active actions taken, which is this client was encouraged to fill in their gratitude journal in the app. So we do have a free feature in the app, which is a gratitude journal. And this person said it was hard at the beginning, and I can understand that. When you are depressed, it's hard to see anything good in your life. So this person shared it was hard to fill in the gratitude journal, but after I filled it in every day as much as I can, with the support of the counselor. I no longer have suicidal thoughts.
Wow.
And I'm a bit tearing up hearing this because that was our first public testimonial. And we got that, I can't remember what month that was, in 2018. I'm pretty sure it was 2018. But that was at a point where, like, we always evaluate or reevaluate, right? Is this what we should do? Is this what we should keep doing? We're losing money here. Do we keep doing this business and all that? And when the testimonial came, we were like, yes. This is why we do this. And I did not expect to cry in this podcast, by the way. But yeah, that one life
Amazing.
is worth all of my effort. That one life is worth our bleeding money. I would say that one life is worth, even if I always pray that KALM survives and thrives, and honestly our goal is to be sustainable. I don't know, even if one day KALM can't thrive, let's say, for whatever reason, that one life was worth all these.
Yep.
I think. So yeah.
Thank you for making an impact in our lives, Karina.
You're welcome. I'm just doing what I love. I'm glad I get to get paid for it, and that people are impacted in any way, like I said, is a side effect, but I'm just doing what I love, really.
That's such a powerful thing to do. Guys, do what you love. Who knows, it'll lead you to saving other people's lives by
Yeah.
saving. It's first important to start with yourself, and then so that other people can latch onto you in a safe way.
Yeah. Thanks, Nikki.
Where can people find you? We've been talking about KALM. I'm gonna highlight once again.
Yeah.
Instagram handle
Yeah.
is at get.calm.
With a K.
Get.com. Correct? Is that correct?
Yeah,
.com.
GET.KALM. Yeah, on Instagram. We're also on Twitter, just with an underscore. But we're mainly on Instagram. We're on Facebook.
We were plugging Get Calm. I want to market the world about Get Calm, not just Indonesia, but wherever we can take it. Can you?
You guys
tell us
can
where
you guys can find us mainly on Instagram, as in for infos. For infos mainly on Instagram. We do have a website, but our Instagram is more up to date, at get.kalm. It is mainly in Indonesian because we do want to address that side of the lack, I guess, in market. Or not in market, lack in information perhaps for beefy content for Indonesians in Indonesia, in Bahasa Indonesia. But our app, so you can download that anywhere, on the Play Store, on the App Store. And it is, I guess, the navigation is still mainly in Indonesian as well, but you are allowed, or you can pick to speak to, or to be connected to an English speaking counselor, or just Indonesian, or doesn't matter. So you want to do mix, say like me, I'm a bilingual person. So even in my counseling as a counselor, my natural counseling is bilingual. But yeah, I did have a client who wants to just speak fully in English. Then I just type fully in English. That's okay. Yeah, what else? We have a podcast as well on Spotify or wherever you find podcast. That's mainly my team that works on that. So the younger team, because I don't have time for that. I'm sticking to the Instagram content. And then yeah, download our app, check it out. There are free stuff everywhere. Also join our webinars. We've been doing a lot more of that in this pandemic, because, well, now I can do a Zoom webinar and even someone in America can attend as long as the time is right. So we have one tonight on toxic family. I mean, this won't be posted, but like, yeah, on toxic family. And our most popular topic, I will say, is inner child. And I'm the one who always brings or speaks at that in that topic, and I love it. So if somehow this will go on before September 8th, go join us on September 8th for our inner child webinar, because it's, yeah, I'm speaking there not because I am a psychologist, but because I am someone who has who's on their inner child healing journey. I would call it that. So I don't speak as an expert in psychology, which, I mean, I am, but I don't want to be a hypocrite. That's what I always say. When I tell people to do self-care, that's because I'm a pro at it. That's why, like, I'm not the best at exercising, so that's always my area where I need to be better at exercising. So even when I tell people to exercise because they need to, especially people who are depressed, they do need the exercise for their depression. It's our body can produce natural happy hormones. So I do a disclaimer in that I'm saying this to you, but I do find it hard myself to exercise routinely. But I don't want to be a hypocrite. So even in webinars, when I lead a webinar in anything, I try my best to practice what I preach. And I call myself a walk the talk psychologist because that's who we should be as anything, yeah? But especially as a psychologist who deals with people's lives and souls and heart, I'm gonna make sure I'm not a hypocrite. So I'm gonna speak about inner child not because I'm an expert, but because I'm on the inner child healing journey, and I'll always be. It's a lifelong thing.
Thank you, Car. You're amazing. This is amazing, and I look forward to keeping in touch with you and
Yeah.
Calm and
Yes.
you
Thanks
know,
for
this
inviting me, Nikki. That was,
good energy
yeah. I
that you
always
bring
love.
to business and
You're
to
welcome.
academia and to our community.
Thank you. All the best to you. Stay healthy. I see a bike back there. Good for you. I need to do more of that.
Honestly, it's rarely used. It's like rusty and everything. It's not being used as often as it should be, but
It should
I'm
be,
working
right. Yeah.
on-
Schedule it. When self-care, including exercise, is not yet like breathing to us, my tip is to schedule it. But yeah, self-care for me, other than the exercising part, is already like breathing to me. So I don't need to schedule it anymore, but I do need to schedule in exercising.
I'm going to the webinar tonight, so I'll see you later.
Cool. See you there. All right.
Hey, thank you so much again.
You're welcome. My pleasure. I won't even mind if you want to invite me again to talk about another topic. But yeah.
Oh, that'd be great. I'm gonna hold on to that promise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, keep in touch. Alright, see you later.
You too. Bye.
Bye.